All right, let's hope I can still do this correctly. So, got another review for y'all. Actually, I got two reviews for y'all today. One of them is gonna be a pretty positive one, and one of them is gonna be slightly critiquing a show. You'll see what I mean in a second. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get the critique one out the way, and then we can move on to the next one. So, let's get started. All right, starting off with Dragon Ball Daima. As we're coming up on the last episode coming out next week, I feel like I can finally give my thoughts on this because I feel like the next episode isn't really going to change my mind on this. For the most part, I believe Dragon Ball Daima had a good premise. I believe it had a very good start, and I was actually on board for it with the thoughts of adventure, learning a new space, learning some new lore, seeing some good fights with some quality animation that I believe is the best animation we've seen from Dragon Ball since Dragon Ball Super Broly. To be honest with you, because this is leagues and far better than Super as a whole, and I was actually, giving it its fair chance and wanting to see what it do with it. But now that we're episode 19, got one more episode to go, supposedly. I will say that I believe Dama dropped the ball, in my opinion. Sure, they had some good adventure stuff, some good lore stuff, some good choreography, fighting, amazing transformation. The Sakugo was really there. But I feel they fell flat because I feel like they were trying to do a little bit of everything when they could, and they couldn't really stick the landing for me, anyways. As far as like characters and doing good callbacks and just overall letting you feel like the series was worth something and letting you feel like there was a feeling of worth when we get to that final boss fight and that final villain. You know what I mean? So spoilers ahead. Um, if you have not watched it, uh, right now, as spoilers ahead, but right now I'm feeling more of a 7 out of 10, maybe even a 6.5. I'm being honest, and I'm just getting to some spoilers. So for me, I feel like they had way too many characters. Piccolo, Boma, honestly, even Pansy. They just didn't really live up to maybe my expectations that I thought they would. I didn't really get a good payoff with Glorio's character. And I guess what really disappoints me is the way that they try to justify his turning against Orensu, and they basically did a they told me, but they didn't show me anything. So I didn't really feel anything for when Glorio inevitably turned against Orensu or Oransu or whatever her name is. And so there was that moment. It was the moment leading up to the fight against Goma that I felt was really unearned because other than Goma turning them into kids, I felt like his character was more so underutilized as to give us a little bit more depth to why he's doing the things that he wants to do. Of course, he wants to be a powerful demon king, whatever, but I guess for me, it just wasn't enough. I mentioned Glorio Pansy. She was a cool addition at the beginning, but towards the middle, the show kind of lost itself. It didn't really do much more with Pansy. Pansy just felt like a well, of course she's a side character, but she felt even more of like a side character with really no contribution other than fixing a ship and adding dialogue here and there, being amazed at Goku and Vegeta's strength. Like, okay, cool. Kind of really a throwaway character. Hybris, to me, Hybris wasn't funny at all. Everything that he did, everything that he tried to do that may seem like funny, it wasn't funny. The jokes just wasn't really rocking with me like I thought they would. Now I will say the Bulma thing was actually pretty funny. Bulma and Vegeta, the last episode, that was actually pretty funny. Um, but yeah, like overall, I think they were trying to focus a lot on the story, or a lot on the adventure aspect, the lore, and then trying to squeeze in the meathead stuff with the transformation and the amazing choreographed fights. But it did all that, but lacked the story element, and that's where I have my problems with it. The story just wasn't hitting for me. I don't really care about whether it made sense canonically or whatever. I just wanted it to like give good story beats. You know, yeah, sure, all that stuff with the lore was cool, but it just didn't. I just didn't resonate with the story as much. Like I didn't really feel for the characters that they introduced. Of course, Goku and Vegeta or Goku and Vegeta, they're staples. I'm talking about like the new characters. Like connect us with them. And honestly, Shin, or not even Shin, or Supreme Kai, I don't even think Supreme Kai needed to be in this neither because he was just between him, Degetsu, and Aransu. I think Aransu had the better character out of all of them, and we didn't really get much of her character. So I don't know. It just it felt like they dropped the ball on the story aspect, and that's the reason why I gave it the score that I gave it because it just wasn't hitting for me. And all the other stuff at the end feels unearned. Now, granted, I will say Super Saiyan 4 was dope. The action scene was dope. Like the action scenes, the choreography, the Sakuga, the way that they did the transformations, the animation, all of that was superb. If I was just rating the animation alone, 9 out of 10, easy. But I got to factor in the show as a whole, and right now, because of that story element and the underutilized characters, in my opinion, it just gets a 7.5 from me. Actually, not even a 7 out of 10. Just to be real with you, because it just that just touched the thing for me. And at this point in my life, sure I like animations, but also I need a compelling story in order to for me to be invested. And maybe that's just me right now, but let me know your thoughts. How do y'all feel about Daima? And I guess see y'all in the last episode. So yeah, till then.